Welcome to another Matt.Cook.Oregon video. In this video we are going to explore the mining ruins in the Ochoco National Forest. The main product of these mines was cinnabar, which is a very toxic mineral. Enjoy the views while we learn about the Independent and Mother Lode mines. Sitting right above the center of Oregon is the Ochoco National Forest. This area has many old mining sites, which we will explore a couple of here. The first site being the Independent Mine. Up the road from that is the Mother Lode Mine. Before exploring the mines, let's talk about what they were mining for. Cinnabar ore was the main product of these mines. This is a very toxic mineral made up of mercury and sulfur. The mercury was extracted from cinnabar and had various uses. Among various medical and electrical uses, mercury was also used to separate gold from other rocks. It has been phased out for the most part as it is extremely toxic. We visited Ochoco in the winter, unsure of how close to the mines our car could get. Fortunately, the roads weren't too bad, so we made it all the way to Round Mountain Trailhead. There are a bunch of hiking trails here, and the mining buildings are only short walks up Lookout Mountain Road. From Round Mountain Trailhead, we stuck to the forest road looking for mining buildings. With promises of treats, Ochoco came along for the journey. After a short walk, there will be a big clearing. This is the first of our mining sites, the Independent Mine. As we look through these ruins, they can teach us a lot about mining. I learned a good amount about this area, but some of this info will be my best guess. The first building seen is a miner's bunkhouse. The door up top was common in these buildings. That was for when the snow buried the bottom level. This bunkhouse is in great shape compared to the others. With flat surroundings, there are no trees that could fall on it. With only a foot or two of snow, we didn't have to use the upper level door. I'm not sure why the door frames and windows are so low. Maybe because they are saving on materials and space, or maybe because the floor was lower originally.
Come on, this way. Come on. So.
The next building didn't survive as well as the bunkhouse. Something tells me a tree might have fallen on it. This was most likely the mining manager's office. Inside had newer paint and building material than the other buildings. After the manager's office was another log building. With a very rough interior, this was most likely a work building like a blacksmith or mule stable. The last couple buildings were where the ore was processed. The tall structure on the right looks like an ore bin. This would be used to store and sort large pieces of ore. An assayer would determine if the ore was rich in minerals or not. The rocks that they found to not bear good amounts of minerals were tossed out. The selected good pieces of ore were brought on to the next building for processing. The next building had a furnace inside of it. The furnace would heat the ore to extract mercury. We will look at more furnaces later and see that there is a variety of processing furnaces here. That's it for the independent mine area. We might have missed a building or two because of the snow. I heard there is a 2-seat outhouse somewhere in there. Continuing further up Lookout Mountain Road will bring you to another mining area.
So come on, leave it. That was poop.
Through the trees, there are some nice clear views of Mount Jefferson from this trail. After another short walk, you will find a trailhead. The road past Mother Lode Mine Trail has more mining buildings. Right in the middle of the road sits a lone brick mining building. At first glance, this looks like a powerhouse, which would burn wood to create steam power for other mining equipment. After a closer glance, it looks to be more like an ore furnace to process the cinnabar ore. It's great that these buildings have stayed in such good condition. The Forest Service has done some restoration to keep these buildings up. They also did some cleanup work in the 90s to remove or hide the toxic minerals. I didn't see any other mining stuff around this area, so this might have been just an extra furnace for the Mother Lode mine. Continuing on Lookout Mountain Road is the most impressive mining building left. It's amazing that this old mine mill is still mostly intact. Most of these mining buildings were active from the 1930s until they realized how toxic mercury was, and production stopped in the 50s. While there is one main ore bin taking up most of the mill tower, this was a big operation with many parts. Starting at the top, just like how miners use gravity to their advantage, is this shaker table. Ore is placed on the table to sort out the unwanted rock, called country rock. The rock containing cinnabar was moved on to the next step. From here, there was a bridge bringing ore to the top level of the tower. At some point, this bridge was taken down, either naturally by gravity or by people. The rest of the ore processing took place inside the mill. At the back of the mill looks like some kind of waste chute. Most of the mill is taken up by one big boiler. This is where the cinnabar ore was boiled, which extracts the mercury into vapor. With so many parts to this boiler, it is hard to figure out exactly what they all do. But we do know that the main purpose was boiling cinnabar ore to get mercury into vapor form. Once the mercury is turned to vapor, it needs to be condensed and cooled into a liquid form. That is where these retort tubes come into ore processing. The vapor travels through these U-shaped tubes to be cooled into a liquid form. Mercury is the first to condense to liquid, while other gases are vented out. The finished product is then put into a mercury flask and sent off. While mining is so interesting, it is good that we have mostly phased out such a toxic material as mercury. Having all this old equipment in such good shape is a great thing for us to be able to learn about Oregon's mining history. After all the exploring and enjoying a ton of old mining remains, it was time to head back. Ochoco National Forest has a bunch more mining remains that we didn't see on this day. I hope you enjoyed this look at the Independent and Mother Lode mines. Tune in again to explore and learn more of Oregon. Get it? Or again?